All right, so stud Sunday. Made a little bit more progress on the Gen 2 small block Ford. Pretty much got the motor assembled. Got the oil pan on, got the motor mounts on. Kind of like almost paint the pan white and get a little red, white, blue theme going on. But I got the short block or base of the long block assembled. I still got to run the valves or set the rocker preload. So still got to do that. Got to put the ARP super damper on, which is right here. I got to put the flex plate on. I did put the new rear timing cover on. I got the Bonfante. Actually, here's the Motion valley cover, and then here's the Bonfante flex plate. I'm gonna put on. Looks all nice. So right there. That's gonna go on probably Tuesday when I get the bolts, the transmission. I did get the converter in, so that's actually over here. Been kind of a bit of a mess. So it's PTC. Move my food right now. It's PTC converter, spec'd out by Dusty Bradford. So here it is. Hardware to bolt it to the flex plate. Some stickers I'll throw on the car. But yeah, kind of table's a huge mess. Just kind of putting this thing together. Just trying to get it going. But yeah, so I got the balancer and the flex plate I got to put on still. Flex plate I can't put on until I get the bolts, so that'll be here Tuesday. So once the flex plate is on, I can put my little flex plate stop on, and then I can put the balancer on, because that's going to be another, I think we did on Adrian's, it was like 40 pounds, and then like 100 something, I think 130 degrees or something like that, 135 degrees, so it's like 240 foot-pounds of torque. I got the new Motion Raceworks valve covers. I did opt for the 12 AN fitting. I might go to a 10, I'm not really sure. I need to see if I can get, or what catch can I'm going to move to, because currently on the car I believe it's a single 12. So I don't know if I buy another catch can, or do I buy, or I guess buy new dual, I think 10 AN catch can, or do two single 12s. I might kind of go for the 12. So I know a couple of guys have seen them like on the boosted stock bottom end stuff. The crankcase needs a good amount of ventilation, and if you don't have enough, it starts having some issues. Another Motion Raceworks part, it's a little freeze plug caps. So like this one, I can't put one here because the alternator bracket takes up this area. But basically, this little freeze plug, because they're stock style heads. So when you start making some boost, if you say lift a head gasket and you start pressurizing the cooling system, you might pop out the caps. So these are little kits right here. Here's the part number for anybody interested. 10-10021. So here's the last one that I can't use because the alternator bracket basically covers up that freeze plug. So I got one in the passenger front, and then I got both on the rears. So a little cheap insurance to keep me safe, just in case, because you never know when you might need it. But I'm figuring out how to do the coil brackets. These are the universal LS stuff. So it's part number 10-12007. I'm using the stock style coils, which are this one right here. So just regular truck style coil. They do sell the different brackets for if you're doing like the Holley smart coils, or I think it's the IG1s or IGN1s, something like that, whatever the other super fancy coil is. So they offer brackets for that. But this kit is meant for all the factory style coils. So I'm gonna put it together real quick and see how this looks. But valve covers are super nice. It's all billet. Has a nice billet like oil fill cap. You can see in there the rocker. They're internally baffled. So kind of forgetting what to say, but yeah, they're internally baffled, so they definitely should keep all the oil inside, because I did run, actually I think it ran through the PVC on the Fox and the thing was just puking out fluid. So basically, I think every pass or two I'd have to drain the catch can because it would just start filling up. Another cool thing I have is the 417 Motorsports water crossover. So these are, I believe they're dash 20 fittings. Let's see if I have them right here. I believe they're dash 20, I want to say. Yeah. So these are the fittings right here from 417s. So it looks like they use Phoenix brand. That or their 16s, I forget what they are. But I'm going to block off this side because I'm going to be going towards the driver's side with the water pump. That should be here, I think, Tuesday as well. I'm running a Davies Craig, the EWP 150, I believe is what it is. It's the standard remote water pump a lot of the drag and drive guys do. And also like the regular drag race guys. But I'm going to cap off the passenger side and then run both outlets towards the driver's side, mount the pump on the driver's side frame rail, and then I'm going to have a dual pass radiator, or probably do like a custom dual pass radiator, and plummet, or have the inlet and outlets on the driver's side, and then I'm still going to do the Camaro ZL1 850 watt 19-inch PWM fan, just so I can make sure I have plenty of cooling as much as possible. Other than that, painted the block all Ford blue. Where did that can go? So, where's it at? Yeah, Ford blue. So, it looks nice. Got the block all painted. Motor mounts are BMR, and then there's another part of the mount that I have to modify my factory, or not the factory K-member, but the M&M Maximum Motorsports K-member to work with the factory F-body style motor mounts, so I can reuse that K-member. If not, I'd have to swap out K-members for something else. And then this is the Holley, the 302, I think it's a 302-3 oil pan. So got that on there. This one has the, like, same with all the 302-1, 2, and 3 pans. It has the half, I think they're 1/2 inch or 3/8 oil drains on both sides. So there's that one. There's one over there. Got the Holley filter, and then I have the ICT oil pressure block. That's gonna feed the turbo with oil. Other than that, I'm trying to think what else, other cool things I got done. That's pretty much it. Gap the rings. I did, it was at 28 on top, or 25 on top. And yeah, I think 25 on top ring, and then 30 on, or 28. Yeah, 25 on the top ring, 28 on the bottom ring. Per my buddy Lane, he builds engines for a living, so I kind of went with him on his suggestion. He's got the Pro Charged orange/red Malibu that does redwood and a bunch of other events. Big bracket guy, so I'm gonna take his advice. So let me see if I can get these brackets figured out, and then have a cool little picture of the whole brackets on here. So, but yeah, it's kind of moving along. Big old mess of stuff, tearing this thing apart, putting it back together. And then also Lane showed me a picture of some paint that basically I kind of tape off everything on the head, spray it, and it's basically like a bare aluminum kind of color. So basically it kind of matches the pan, just to kind of clean up the head. So, and then I think the last thing I need to order, really, like the biggest thing, is the intake. I'm not going to order it till I get the motor in the car, because I want to see where I'm going to be at for the intake. I don't really want to run a cowl hood. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. I'm going to do some vents. I found some like autocross vents that I'll probably cut into the hood just to get some air out, because the hood gets extremely hot, especially after driving all day. or even just making a pass. The turbo just kind of creates a lot of heat. So now I'm running a bigger turbo, bigger downpipe and all that. I want to be able to get some air out of the engine bay, so I'll figure that out. But pretty much right now I'm looking between the Holley low ram and the BTR Equalizer 1, or I think it's the BTR Equalizer 3, I believe. Kind of looks like the Holley ultra low ram, similar like I have on the El Camino. So kind of down to like those 3 intakes. If not, worst case, I was gonna probably buy the low ram, and then if that didn't fit, put that on the El Camino, because I know I have some clearance there, and put the ultra low ram on this motor. So regardless, I can use either intake on either car, so which is the nice thing, keeping everything with Gen 2 stuff, quote unquote. Other than that, yeah, Dennis is still plugging away on the car. I've been kind of plugging away at the motor. Got a bunch of parts everywhere still, so I need to start consolidating down the stuff to kind of clean up a mess. But another cool thing, I got some of the Milwaukee pack out 3-drawer to 4-drawer kit. I started kind of putting together a little like my drag and drive trailer stuff. So here's some spare parts, oil filter, Bosch sensor, which I need to really swap out for a NTK sensor. I think fluid temp sensor. This is the for my whatchamacallit, fuel pressure or fuel filter, some spare sensors. I don't think I have anything in here. Some tools. So the 4-drawer is pretty much gonna be my tools, and the 3-drawer is gonna be my my parts bin. I still haven't really figured out like a full layout yet. I know a bunch of people make little inserts for these, so I gotta figure that out. But in that, I gotta buy some more sensors for the transmission. I bought a ATI overflow that pretty much bolts to the front of the pan, so I gotta pull that out. And then I believe it should be threaded already. So do that. You gotta do a charge pressure sensor, and then transpan, oil temp sensor. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, just got a bunch of parts everywhere. Just gotta clean up. Just been mainly trying to get this engine done, so when the car comes back, I can put the converter or put the trans on it, put the converter in the transmission, put the trans on the motor, drop everything in, and then start plugging away and try to get this thing up and running. Kind of long-winded here, but main goal for this coming year, the events I'm trying to hit are, I believe it's Kingdon, or no, Mendota in, I think March, beginning of March, and Kingdon end of March or something like that. I want to do LS Fest end of April, and then maybe hit up another Kingdon event, or actually it's Mendota, I think end of, or sometime in May, and then get ready for Olympic Drag and Drive in June, and then kind of put around, just do some more like kind of fine tuning on the motor, really finalize the trailer, and all this, and what I'm going to be carrying, and get ready for Redwood in September. So here's a little trailer. Definitely you can see how much of a difference it is compared to the old one if you look in the videos. Basically pretty much everything was here, basically minus I think the 2 chairs, which basically can go right here, and then the tires, which once I figure out my organization, I'll be able to make it a whole lot easier, because probably in the car it's really going to be like a small cooler, so I might just put this cooler in the car or just leave it back here, like our basic like backpack and like small luggage stuff. I would definitely want to do some lights, and I need a message, I forgot who it was, Rich, race status on the brackets and the shocks, because I want the lid to go up higher. But yeah, other than that, let me go play with this coil brackets. Here's the tank. I gotta figure out Definitely got to change those. I got to still do the fuel system. So, but yeah, let me get this going and show you guys some cool stuff. All right, so I got the valve covers all figured out. Took a little bit of messing around with it. Kind of the, I guess, same application goes for most people. For the brackets, if you have an LS, pretty much I opted to do basically flip the standoffs where the bracket screws in or the coil mount screws in, basically facing each other and using the outside mounts. And then obviously the bracket that I'm using, it's for the I think it's like DS 581 coils or something like that, whatever these are. But pretty much same thing. So you use a little spacer that's included, and then use the long bolts, and it sticks right through. So pretty simple. Once I figured out what side the bracket goes on, it kind of all went into place. You really don't need much tools for this. It's pretty much a 5/32 Allen or T-handle and a 7/16 socket, and that's pretty much it. So super nice. They are expensive, but for the price, they're well worth it. Considering I'm doing like a stock bottom end, I figure I might as least make this thing look somewhat nice. So I got this, and then I got the valley cover, which actually let me go grab that. Just a little spice this thing up a little bit. So I just got the Motion Raceworks Gen2 Billet valley cover on here. So looks pretty cool. It's already tapped for 1/8 inch NPT. So right there. So I'll be probably, I'm not sure I'm gonna mount the my sensors, because I know there's the big thing of if you mount the sensors to the motor, the vibration kills them. But I've got a few of my sensors, or at least on the Gen 1 small block, I had the sensors mounted to the motor. I think I only had an issue with one sensor, but I think it was an issue with it. But yeah, this is pretty much what it's gonna look like. Still gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for a hood. That I will figure out once I get the motor in the car and I can look at deck height. Because I gotta see, I'd like to run a low ram, but if I can't get the hood clearance, I'll probably run the BTR Equalizer 1, or I think the other BTR, that Trinity, I think is what it is. It's kind of like a similar, it's like a little bit shorter than low ram, because I'd like to keep a stock hood, and then I'm going to do some vents in the hood just to help with heat extraction, because on the long drive days, the hood gets extremely hot, or at least with the On3 kit, it got extremely hot where you can't even touch the hood. So I'm going to do some vents, kind of like the autocross hood vents, just to help pull some air through the engine bay. It'll be kind of similar to like the 03 Cobra hood vents, something like that. But it's more of a autocross thing. So, but this is kind of where we're at. Once the ARP bolts show up for the flex plate, I'll get that on, get that locked in place. Then I can pull the balancer on. This is a Corvette spaced balancer. I had this for quite some time, so instead of buying another balancer, I'm just going to use this one. Other than that, pretty much the long block's basically ready to go, minus running the valves, which I'll probably do that tomorrow. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, we're definitely kind of running out of things to do on the motor. Definitely wish I had like some type of steam bath or something like that. Get this thing cleaned up as nice as I can, which I'll figure something out. Just at least make them a little bit nicer. So I'm gonna use that paint that Lane sent me. And then I'm trying to think what else. I'm starting to stock up on some sensors. I got those coming. Just an extra crank and cam sensor for a Gen 4 and a Gen 3, just to keep in my little parts box. I got to order a starter, which I'm probably going to use. I think it's a 2500 starter. I think it's like it's the Gen 4 or the Gen 3. I guess 2500 Silverado, Sierra, the 6-liter basically trucks. Their starter is like a mini torque starter from the factory, so I'll probably run one of those. I think I actually have that on the El Camino, so I'll probably buy another one, and then it'll tuck up right here. I gotta finish the ports on the pan. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm really kind of running out of stuff to do on this thing, so hopefully car gets finished up so I can start slapping the stuff together. Kind of a whole smorgasbord of parts, a bunch of Motion parts, so shout out to Motion. Here's actually my fuel pressure regulator I'm going to be running, because I completely forgot I had this. It's Aeromotive. I forgot what's the part number. Part number. Up there. Part number is 13137. That's kind of their big boy fuel pressure regulator. So I'll probably be running this off the rails. So depending on what intake I use, I'll probably use this port right here to go into the rail. And this pretty much, I guess, outlet to the rail, or outlet from the rail, and then the return on the bottom, and then kind of either mount it in the back or in the front somewhere, like right here on the front on the rail. However, which way I can get this thing to work. So, because the turbo is going to be taking up most of the space right here, so I'm not sure how much space I'll have, but maybe might have enough space to do like this, and then pretty much on the outlet, basically come down and then loop over for the return, because pretty much the downpipe is going to be, I guess, the turbo is going to sit right here, downpipe is going to shoot across the front of the motor, then drive down, or turn 90 down and then 90 back, and go out the fender or just dump underneath the car. So I gotta figure what I'm gonna do for this. I need to buy a rebuild kit for this regulator, just so I could have it on hand in my parts box. Worst case, if I need to do a rebuild on the road, at least I have it. My MTK sensor, might raffle this off, or if I hit 200 subscribers, maybe give that away. Here's a bunch of bar clamps from Motion, bolt kit for bell housing. I think this is the screen. No, it's the Holley bracket I gotta use. I think this is the screen right now. I guess I had 2 Holley brackets, so I might raffle that off too, potentially. Here's the Motion, Motion fuel pressure regulator. More fittings. It's for the stock sensor. Another sensor here. So you can see I have tons of stuff everywhere. Here's the plugs, actually. And then these are the brackets I gotta modify, or I use these to make work for the Maximum Motorsports K-member. So these will bolt on. Did anyone else? Do they have? I don't think they give me everything, but yeah, it'll pretty much go like this. Ooh, somewhat, something like that, give or take. So it'll sit like that for the most part, because I'm just have to get a bolt for that. But that's basically, this pretty much gets, or that, this hole right here, the stud, gets drilled into the maximum K-member, and then I can bolt everything up. That's pretty much it. I said maybe 200 subscribers. Maybe do this is part number, the billet frost plugs or freeze plugs. Raffle that off. And then maybe do like another subscriber, like, I don't know, 300, 500 subscribers. Raffle, or basically give away the Holley HP mount with the 2 brackets. So we'll see. We will see. I just got to get my car first because I'm trying to make it back out and go racing. So we'll see. It's pretty much the end of this video. It's really kind of more just an update, and then go from there. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. The more subscribers we get, we can continue doing stuff like this. Definitely get Adrian some more parts to get the next step of his truck going. We're probably going to do a PTC converter for him. Then start saving for like a turbo kit or preferably a supercharger kit for his truck. So we'll see. But thanks again.